Have you ever looked at the price of a flight or a book online and just got a feeling? You know, that sense that asks, is that really the price, or is there something else going on behind the curtain? Well, it turns out the price might just be a lie. And get this, the players in this game, they aren't even human.
You see, for pretty much everything we buy online these days, the price isn't set by some person in a back office. Nope, it's set by a learning algorithm. And these things are constantly tweaking prices based on tons of data. So the big question, the really important one, is this. Are they competing to give us the best deal, or have they figured out a way to work together against us?
You know, for the longest time, the rules of the game were super simple. For more than 100 years, the law was all about stopping one thing and one thing only. That classic, shady, backroom deal.
Okay, so let's dive into that classic case. To really get what's happening with algorithms today, we've got to go back and look at how things used to work.
Right, so picture this. It's the textbook example of illegal price fixing. You've got two merchants, they meet up in some smoke-filled tavern, and they secretly agree to raise their prices together. They both know they'll make way more money if they just stop competing. But, and this is the key part, it requires that secret meeting, that explicit handshake. That's the bit that's always been against the law.
Okay, but what happens when you take the humans out of the equation? What if the merchants are replaced by machines? That's where things get really weird. Which brings us to our next section, when algorithms collude. Meet the new players.
And this is where the game just completely changes. See, human collusion, it's all about intent. You've got the secret meetings, the explicit agreements, the whole shebang. It's illegal. But algorithmic collusion, it's different. It's a learned behavior. The AIs figure out on their own that keeping prices high is the best strategy. There's no human telling them to do it, no secret plan. And that, my friends, is a massive legal gray area.
I love this quote from Aaron Roth at the University of Pennsylvania. He says, "The algorithms definitely are not having drinks with each other." And that just nails it, right? There's no digital smoke-filled tavern. They're not making deals. So the old way of catching the bad guys, finding evidence of a conspiracy, it just doesn't apply anymore. And this isn't just theory, by the way. We've seen it happen. A big study back in 2019 showed that if you just let two simple learning algorithms compete, they can actually learn to keep prices high. So how do they do it? Basically, through trial and error, they figure out that if either one of them drops their price, the other one will immediately start a brutal price war. It's this unspoken, mutual threat that keeps them both in line and keeps prices high for us. All right, so if algorithms can learn to be bad, can't we just design a good one, a hero algorithm? Well, that leads us right into our next section, a proposed solution that game theorists came up with. Now, to get our heads around this good algorithm, we need to talk about a core idea from game theory called regret. Think about it like this. You're playing rock, paper, scissors, and you realize your buddy throws rock almost every single time. Regret is that feeling of kicking yourself, thinking, man, if I had just played paper over and over, I would have crushed him. Smart players and smart algorithms are designed to minimize that feeling. And that idea is the key to what game theorists cooked up. It's called the no-swap regret algorithm. It's a really smart program designed to always minimize regret. And on paper, the theory was just beautiful. If you have two of these things competing, it's mathematically proven that they will always find a fair, competitive price. It really seemed like they'd found the silver bullet.
But it's never that simple, right? Which brings us to our next section, and a major plot twist. An unexpected result.
So, researchers had this brilliant idea. They asked a simple question. What happens when our theoretically perfect, super smart, good algorithm goes head-to-head with, well, a dumb one? So in one corner, you have the good guy, the no-swap regret algorithm. It's smart, it's adaptive, it's designed for fairness. And in the other corner, you have the dumb algorithm. It's super simple, it's not really responsive, it basically just ignores what its opponent is doing and plods along. It's not trying to be strategic, it's just there. And the result of this matchup? High prices. We're talking really high prices. It was the exact opposite of what everyone expected.
Yeah, this wasn't just a little blip. It was a stable, high-priced situation that absolutely floored the researchers. One of them, Eshwar Arunacheleswaran, put it plainly. To me, it was a complete surprise. They had stumbled upon a brand new way to get to collusion. So how on earth does this even happen? Well, it's pretty wild. The dumb algorithm basically coaxes the good one into raising its prices. Remember, the good algorithm wants to minimize regret. It looks at the dumb algorithm's behavior and learns that the best way to make a profit is to just go along with the high prices. They end up in this stable, high-price equilibrium, where they're both making a ton of money, so neither one has any incentive to change its strategy. And here's the really crazy part. It's collusion, but without any of the actual collusive behavior. It's a ghost in the machine.
As you can imagine, this discovery creates a massive, massive headache for anyone trying to keep markets fair. And that's our final section, the regulator's dilemma. I mean, if there's no bad guy, who do you blame?
And this is the paradox they're facing. Okay, step 1, do you regulate the dumb algorithm? Well, is it illegal to be simple? As one researcher put it, historically, that hasn't been illegal. You can't just outlaw a basic strategy. Okay, so step 2, what about the good algorithm? Do you regulate that? But wait, that's the one that's supposed to be the solution. If everyone used it, prices would be fair. You're completely stuck between a rock and a hard place.
And the experts themselves are totally split on this. You've got Jason Hartline, who thinks the solution is pretty straightforward. Just make a rule that says everyone has to use these no-swap regret algorithms. Problem solved, right? But then you've got Aaron Roth, who says, whoa, not so fast. He thinks the problem is much, much harder. It's not clear what kind of behavior you would even rule out as illegal in the first place.
And this final quote from Malesh Pai at Rice University really just sums up the whole problem. He says, without some notion of a threat or an agreement, it's very hard for a regulator to come in and say, these prices feel wrong. And that's it in a nutshell. Our whole legal system is built on finding that smoke-filled room. But when there isn't one, what can you do?
So it all leaves us with this huge critical question for our time. As algorithms set more and more of the prices we pay every day, how do we make sure they're actually playing for our team? How do we even begin to rewrite the rules for a game we can't see?